Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? As you guys can tell, this is my weekly podcast called Taping Mats. I don't even know if I spelled taping right in the overlay, but let's just go with it. This is our homie, Julian Big Bear Santos, on my
What's going on,
left,
everybody?
right here. He's going to be a permanent host, and we're going to try and have other people on. But yeah, this is our podcast. Julian, why don't you tell them a little bit about your life, who you are?
Okay, so a little bit about me. I am currently 20 years old. I'm a college athlete. I'm not going to specify exactly which sport or what school, just due to my own regulations. I played, I played, played football in high school as well as wrestled. So take
Yeah,
that however you'd like.
yeah.
Um, I also wrestled with Isaac,
Yeah, Julian
and
Julian plays six in state. He's a savage wrestler. He's a
hmm
heavyweight. Julian,
he's a
so
large man.
what would you suggest are some tips to heavyweights currently in high school that are looking to their summer season?
Um,
What do you
well,
do? Just play
I'd
football?
say I'd say definitely the biggest thing, especially when it comes to being a heavyweight, is a lot of people think being a heavyweight is just about who's like more athletic and who's stronger. And I've seen some pretty fat, pretty unathletic heavyweights win state titles. Um, I think it definitely comes down to a lot of it being just the how you kind of come into the match, like your own intimidation. If you go into if you go into any match ever thinking you're going to lose or you're scared, then you're not going to win. And don't get me wrong,
Yeah, of course.
there's like everyone can say that, but at the same time, you want to, in a weird way, you always kind of want to have your own type of fear when you're wrestling. You know, that's
You
kind of
should
like
be you should be
what made me
cautious.
feel better. Yeah,
More cautious than like I don't know. I get nervous. I get nervous before every match. So that's
yeah,
like I don't know. I think it's more like adrenaline than anything.
and the biggest thing I'd say, especially for heavyweight, is you gotta take it like a fight.
Yeah,
It's
you have
not
to take it like a
it's
fight.
a
You gotta
fight.
take it like you're
Every
about
every
to beat
match
the
is a
shit out of
fight.
this dude. Like you're about to whoop someone.
Like it doesn't matter if you're your friend, because I've wrestled with Isaac and my friends a bunch of times, but
Peaches.
yeah, one of my best friends, Peaches. Him and I wrestled for pretty much a full season, and I did some damage to Peaches, and Peaches hated it. But it's just how it is. You gotta
Mm,
drill correctly, and you gotta, even if you wrestle people that are your friends or whatever, you
bro.
gotta take it serious.
Alright, I have a story about injuring a teammate, bro. Alright, so my
I have a,
friend.
I have a story about injuring a teammate after that as well.
Alright, bro. So when I was a freshman, bro. My friend, I'm not gonna say his name, but his name rhymes with Tater Poppins. Okay. Okay. And
I don't even know who Tater Proppins is. I can't figure it out. So that's how vague it is.
Tater Poppins. Okay, so this kid, he was the first friend I made in high school, and like we were both on the wrestling team, so we were like lit. One day, or this was my,
No,
this was my,
I know who it
this is
is.
my, this is my 10th grade year. I was a sophomore, right? Where it's like before season starts, and we're drilling double legs, right? And I pick this kid up, and I do a shitty double, and like he lands on his butt, and my lands right on his nutsack, and like he's like on his back, my knee's on his nuts, and I'm just like over him. And I didn't realize my knee was on his nuts. And I stood up and I put all my weight on my knee and got up and you just see him like curl in pain and he's like and like at the time he was like a big stoner and everyone thought he was just being a pussy. And he was like, "No, coach, look at my nuts, look at my nuts." And he took him into the training room, and like I went in there with him because I had just done this to this kid, and like one of his balls, I swear it was like a freaking like three times the size of a grape. Think of that. It was like your normal nuts like this big. It was like swollen like this. It was
Oh,
ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. He went to the hospital. And he had to get a needle put inside of it, and they drained it.
I thought he lost it.
No. He had a nice. He had testicle soup for a while, bro. He had
I
testicle soup
remember.
for a fat minute.
I remember for a while. I actually talked about that pretty recently. Someone's like, "Hey, like, so when you wrestle, does any like, do you guys wear a cup?" I was like, first of all, nobody wears a cup. All right.
Nobody wears a cup.
I go,
Now,
if you wear,
nobody wears a cup. If you wear a cup, then like
I
it's
was
game.
like, if you,
Yeah,
I go, if you wear a cup, that's probably the weirdest thing ever.
yeah. That's
And
probably the weirdest thing ever. I don't know
and
why.
I actually
I got
brought
made
up,
fun of it my freshman year. Never again.
I brought up to him. I was like, I wasn't actually on the team at the time, but there actually was a kid at my high school that this is what I said. I said he crushed his ball, and they're like, what do you mean he crushed his ball? I was like, well, he got slammed and his ball's gone.
His ball is gone.
And they're like,
No.
no. They're like, no, that's not possible. I go, no, we made the coach look at it. Not in a gay way, more like a weird way, but like the coach had to check it out, and his ball was gone.
His ball.
And
It
they literally
exploded on the inside.
they literally were like, oh, like I didn't know that happened in wrestling. I was like, it's not very often, believe me.
Yeah.
It's just
It-
crushing the ball.
It's not super uncommon, but it's not super common either.
So actually, um, I'm so actually, my story of injuring a teammate actually it was you, right?
Me.
Um, so we had this one kid on our team.
Oh my god.
Some people called him Big Head. If you so, uh, the thing about Big Head is he was. If you'd like to, like, just state a very annoying person at times, he was very immature and very annoying.
No, yes, I. At times, yes, I agree.
And so like, you know, we'd have these things called wrestle offs and everything. It's pretty much where
Bro, everyone watching this is a wrestler. Everyone watching this wrestles.
yeah.
Yeah.
So of course like we have like a wrestle off and everything, and he's wrapping his like he's literally just on the mat, like clenched, like tucking his legs under him, just holding on to my back leg, not like not trying to change position, not anything. And he won't. I'm trying to kick him off. It's literally like I have a child attached to my
Yeah.
leg, and I'm trying to kick him off, and he won't get off. And you have to think everyone's in the room just watching us.
Yeah,
just
in a
like,
big circle, right?
in a big circle. And I start coming down with just cross faces nonstop. It was like, boom, boom, boom. Like it wasn't to the point I was not cross facing him.
Mind you, each of Julian's arms weigh like 95 pounds.
And the thing was, our coach is watching us, and he's like, I'll let it pass.
I'll let it pass because everyone hated Big Head. Everyone hated Big Head.
Like Big Head was just had a lot of issues with the team. I'm
Yeah.
cross-facing him like to oblivion, and it's like this. It's like every crossface is like, and he's eating them. His head's so large. I'm pretty sure the impact just like spread across.
Yeah, just dispersed evenly.
So he wouldn't let go. And the thing is, this is actually an ankle I had hurt in football season, and I went straight into wrestling season. And I pretty much taped it every single day.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And it was in so much pain, and he wouldn't let go. So it was pretty much to the point I was just punching him in the back of the head.
Bro, do you remember when our captain our senior year fought that JV kid? That was so funny, bro. That was so funny, bro. All right, so our captain, he wasn't our captain yet. He was like this kid from Ohio. He was like this big shot. He was super calm, super quiet. We didn't really know him. He was just like didn't really talk. Super nice. His mom always brought food to the meets. Like really nice kid. And like this was like before we had even picked team captains.
Yeah, he just didn't know. Nobody really knew what to expect.
Like, no one really knew him.
We had a good impression that he was going to be really good just because he was from Ohio, and he went to a highly ranked school, so we're like, oh, he's probably going to be like really good or like at least decent.
Yeah. All right, so and this kid, we're going out through all practice, and I guess he's wrestling like one of our JV kids who's a football player. Like he's just like the scrappy little football player, and I guess he's pissing off this kid from Ohio. And at the end of practice, our coach has grudge matches, and the football player.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, the football player called out the kid from Ohio. They start wrestling, and I think the football player took him down, and then the kid from Ohio gets behind him and starts punching him in the face. He's like, boom, boom, in front of everyone, in front of everyone. Oh my god, that was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. And like, literally, they're like they pulled him up and like they didn't want to kick him off the team so bad because he was so good, and the kid that he fought was so trash, and he was just like, get out, just stand outside, stand outside.
The thing was like he was such a quiet kid, and like he didn't really
Yeah,
do anything. He just
you would
wrestled.
never expect this. Never expect this from this
And
guy.
the thing was, I remember like after he he talked to me and he goes, dude, I don't know what happened. I was in trouble. I was like, what do you? I was like, dude, what happened to the best place? He goes, no, I don't know who that was. I was like, you would have thought this kid just did something.
Yeah, you.
And he felt so bad for so long, and like we'd bring it up, like we'd make jokes about it. He's like, yeah, I did kind of hit him hard. Do you think he like forgave me for that? I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. It was like really like,
Yeah,
like I could ask him now, and he would say, yeah,
like, man, I wonder if he still likes me. Like,
yeah, like,
mind you, this kid was like 3 years younger than us. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That was
Like, he was literally
so
like a
fun.
child. He was like a child, and he was just like, he's just, of course, like being on the football team, we always like pressured the football guys. It's best to like definitely
Yeah.
play and like try to wrestle, because if you're a football player, you're probably gonna be pretty decent at wrestling.
Yeah.
Just because of your athleticism and how strong you are. It really just like lower weights.
If you're a good football player, if you're a shitty football player, then you could be like, you remember,
He could be good. Big Head was a football player, and he almost went to States.
Big.
Big Head,
I'm trying to think.
crossface, Big Head.
Yeah.
That's probably.
Oh.
Yeah. That
Oh,
I
I know
about.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the hairy guy.
No. Oh, that was. So there was also. All right, we're gonna call this kid Sasquatch. All right. The thing about him was he was a very, very hairy guy. All right.
Yeah, he had like so much hair. He would grow a beard that would take me 6 years to grow in like 2 weeks. It was ridiculous. He was like Arab, and he would just like poof, just like Santa Claus in a week.
And he was at 220, and he was the only guy that I could wrestle. So I'm like, okay. And when I first started, I was like, oh, the biggest thing is when you first start wrestling, especially coming from a sport like football, you don't know what to expect, dude. You're
Yeah,
like, oh,
especially like your sophomore year.
You're like, oh, these are probably just guys like hugging each other.
Yeah, this isn't
in
like
leotards.
Yeah,
leotards.
this is probably some gay shit.
It's always like the quote, and I remember I was like,
Some guys hugging
he used to always talk to me. He was like, yeah, dude, I'm supposed to go to States this year and everything. Super hairy guy, right? And he used to always talk about how he was gonna win States. So when I first get in there, to me, anybody could have been a savage at wrestling. I was like, dang, dude, he's really good. And people would be like, no, he's not good. And the thing is, he would take a match and would not shoot, like wouldn't collar tie,
stall, just like stall like this, stall like this until like the coin flip, or he would get 1 point. He had a lot of 1-0 matches, like a lot of 1-0 matches.
I was a heavyweight, and I could end matches with rather a pin, or at least like there's sometimes I almost like pecked kids, and this guy is a 220, and he's ending matches with 1 point, 0 point, like
with 1 point, and it's not like it's a finals match. This is like Rat Tail matches. You know what I mean? Like this is like first round, second round, third round, fourth round, the finals. He wins the whole tournament, scoring 5 points.
We never knew like how this was possible.
No clue.
He had two biggest problems that he always came up with: his shoulder and his knee. Okay.
No, bro,
It
and
was.
his headgear would always go over his eyes during the match,
Oh yeah.
bro.
For some
And he
for
couldn't
some
see.
reason, for some, for some reason, he would literally wrestle, and someone would literally just go in a regular like collar tie, and his headgear would go from here to here.
Instantly, he never fixed it. He never fixed it.
within,
He never fixed it.
within within 4 years, he did not fix this once.
Never.
Like every single match, it was like this, and
And
of course, we're like,
he just dealt through looking through the X's.
literally just looking through the little X's, like he was like Bane or something.
Oh my god,
Like
that's so funny.
it was
Just the
actually
thought of that.
incredible. And I remember there's literally one day we were in practice and we're drilling, and I think I took a shot, and I think I like dropped and just grabbed his like ankle, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't sprawl, he doesn't do anything. He was, oh, ah, and I was like, so of course, my
And
reaction was
that's exactly how he would do it. He's like, oh, oh, like,
so
oh.
so of course my reaction was like oh snap, I might have just hurt this thing, so I let go.
It's like,
Like I didn't even like try to like tuck, I didn't even try to pull it in. Like I didn't even try to like snap her or anything. I
yeah.
just let it go. He just, oh dude, my shoulder. And I was like, I literally said to him, I was like, Sasquatch, I didn't even touch your shoulder. And he's like, oh, and he'd come over to me and be like, oh, hey, come here, feel this. And I'd be like, of course, I'm like pitying the guy at this point. I
Yeah.
was like, all right, yeah, just let me feel it. And he'd be like this. Oh.
Nah,
He'd
just
like,
hang
he'd
on.
be,
With
he'd be,
you guys, listen to this. Listen to this. I think I had the same problem he did, and I did not complain at once about my shoulder.
okay, I hear yours. No, his was like this. Me going like this. Just move, like moving my shoulder and like feeling like
You
him
guys hear
flexing.
that? That's from years of wrestling. That's from
It
years
would
of
literally,
wrestling.
it would literally just be like him flexing. He'd be like, "You feel that?" And I was like, "No." And he's
Uh,
like, "No, no, no, feel this." I was like, "Dude, I don't feel anything." He's like,
crinkle, 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 crinkle.
"Crinkle, crinkle." And the funniest thing about Squatch was that his like he would bring his family to these matches, right?
Yeah,
And he was from up north.
yeah.
And the thing was,
His family were some like
especially
took
when you're
no
from up,
shit people. Took no shit people. They took no shit from anyone, bro.
they really, they really like they got very enthusiastic about like
Yeah,
the matches,
took no shit
like
from anyone. The refs,
no,
the
like
coaches, didn't
it was
care.
like,
As soon as he would win, his dad would run onto the mat and give him a hug, like before they shook hands, like. And like his dad understands English, but he would play it off like he didn't know English.
yeah.
Like,
Like what he
I
couldn't say.
think.
He knew what he was doing. He's like, yeah. I almost said it. I almost said it. I was this close. He's like, Squad! And he'd like run down from like literally the top of the bleachers in a stadium like filled with people. He's like, come here! And everyone's like, oh god. But the funniest moment about having him on the team was it was districts when we used to wrestle at school that was like really good. They had like two wrestlers that were twins, and
Oh
they
yeah,
they were always considered the top wrestling school in our
yeah.
county, like our area.
They go to like the Naval Academy now or
Yeah.
something.
So we're like okay, like we have to have some good matches, right? And so I think we had a couple guys make it to the finals. One of our friends got like destroyed by one of these twins, and we used to literally say the twins were like one was like an angel and the other was like actually the devil, right?
We
We
said
used to,
we used to say we used to say it was fucked up, but we used to say that his dad gave up his own soul to have these two God gifted wrestling children prodigies.
because the thing was like they were literally unreal, and
Yeah, it was like they had a winning streak from like
freshman
probably
year. Like,
one of them had him from he lost one match his freshman year, and then the other one won like 4 times, I think, or 3 times. He won state 3 times, and then the other one won
And
state
then
2 times.
he went. He had gone. I think it was. I'd like to say it was like 200 matches, and he hadn't been taken down. And
Oh, I
I
remember
think
this.
it was my junior year, his senior year, and I'm at regionals, and this one kid, I'm gonna say it, this one black kid just did not care. This one
Did
black kid just
not
said
care.
he said he didn't. I don't even think the kid knew who he was. I think the kid just went in there just like, okay, I'm just gonna wrestle this guy.
Yeah,
So he takes
bro, for real.
he
Like,
he literally does a fireman's. I don't know how he does a fireman's, which if getting a fireman's on a good wrestler, like
yeah, it's hard.
especially a 3-time state champ, like not very easy.
Yeah,
But he got deep, and then the kid like was like surprised and he sprawled out and he literally just got his leg and just yanked it up and like just like threw it up.
yeah,
And everyone like you just saw him like fall and hit the ground and you're like, and he like gets the two. This kid literally just like fire just through his veins.
yeah.
You
Just
see his
like,
whole body just like,
he was a ginger. He was a pale white ginger,
oh my
right?
gosh.
Like you could see his hair turn into like Goku hair, like before
It
your
was
eyes. It was
and
amazing,
and the thing was he hadn't been taken down for like 3 years and literally the whole
bro.
stadium
And
goes,
his dad.
"Woo!" Loud.
Ooh,
So loud.
that
So loud.
was so loud. And like there was a picture of him like in the air, put in the newspaper. Oh, that was so embarrassing. I feel so bad for him. And like the second that happened, his dad's demeanor changed completely. He was like he went from like I'm about to kill my son. Like you were about to not eat for like
I
three
remember
days.
like the thing was like after I don't know if that was finals. I think it was like the round before the finals. I remember he had actually won the finals and he was like so angry and he just like threw the medal. He's like I don't even care about this medal. Like and these are like these are kids that are never have had like a chance to ever even make it like to states, like will never
Yeah.
have the opportunity. And this kid is literally a regional champ and he's like, get this out of my face.
Yeah, no,
I'm winning.
take
Like,
this shit. Like being a total brat.
like yeah. And the thing was like at this school you would think like, wow, uh these kids like must be controlled by somebody. Well, the thing is that their dad was one of the coaches and the other coach was a psychopath.
This is the complete loon.
He was
Complete loon.
he was actually a lunatic. So
Yeah.
my 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 I think it was my sophomore year. I think it was my sophomore year when we went and trained with the school when we
Oh,
went to
for
states.
states, yeah.
And this is like right when my ankle had been hurt. I remember we had we had this one kid. What was his name? I'm not gonna say his name. We'll just call him Snake. Okay, he was this kid from this like really ghetto school, and the thing was he was so slippery. Like he would always like he was so slippery all the time that he would like everyone just called him a snake, right? And he was just a funny guy, right? So we're all chilling in there, and we're all like everyone's like warming up, and I'm not wrestling because my ankle is like really messed up.
Wait, hang on. Did Snake have a grill?
Snake did have a girl. It's from Shark. It's from Shark. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. And
I know
he
who you're talking
he used
about.
to go like this and drop to the mat and like hit the mat. And like people like the thing was it would always confuse people and people always thought he was gonna take a shot, but he never actually took a shot from it. He just always did it.
Yeah.
And
Bro, I
so
saw him at a party.
he probably did. He probably did.
Yeah.
And I remember we're all chilling in there, and it's like him and I are the only black ones there, right? And and this coach is like he was pretty extreme about like some of the things he'd say, right? And I remember he comes to me, he's like, why are you wrestling? I was like, oh well, I like sprained my ankle. I was like, I haven't been able to like do anything. I've been wrapping it up every week and just wrestling because it got to the point, dude, I like, couldn't even wrestle,
Yeah.
and I was like only wrestling at the tournaments. So he goes, oh okay. He continues to walk around the room, and he goes, see, he goes, black kids can get hurt, and I was like,
bro,
Well,
bro,
it's like,
what?
dude, I don't even know the. Yeah, literally did not even know.
Bro, that dude
No,
was a nut. Bro, you know, all right. Allegedly, he got fired this year for a girl walked out of the girl's bathroom and she had like toothpaste on her face, and he was from New Jersey, and he was like, "Oh, what? You got cum on your face?"
the worst part is if you knew this lunatic, you would not be surprised by him
Yeah,
saying
you would
that.
not be surprised at all.
You'd be
By
like,
him.
yep. You'd be like, oh, well, yeah, he probably did
Yeah,
say that.
yeah, that sounds like something he'd say. Like,
I remember, and like just to give you guys a like understanding of how crazy this guy was. During the same week, they have all their guys for state prep. They have all their guys still wrestling. Like when their season's over, they don't stop wrestling. They just keep on going.
yeah,
And they had this little Spanish kid.
no break,
Uh,
no month break.
huh?
No, I'm saying like they don't take a break.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So like they have this little Spanish kid. He was literally a ninth grader, and the thing was, he was
oh,
so
bro,
good,
yeah, I remember
so
that.
good. Like he was just an animal, and he was just this little Spanish kid. He was like really quiet and everything, and like I remember, like he was just like a savage, right? If we
Yeah.
had him, we would have been stacked for like 106 or like 113. I don't remember what weight it was.
Uh,
And we're in there, and he goes, get the fuck up, you Jimmy Chunker eating motherfucker. And I was like,
oh,
what? And this is me, like, still on the wall, like, haven't wrestled at all.
yeah, Julian's
I'm,
full
I'm just
blown.
like, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, this guy's a fucking racist.
This
I was
dude's
like, this dude is so
racist as
racist.
fuck. Oh,
And
that's hysterical.
he says this, and the kid's like he's literally like a little kid.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah,
14 years old, would whoop anyone's ass in like a wrestling match, and he's
yeah,
getting
for
called
sure.
a chimichanga eating motherfucker from his coach, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, because our coach, the thing about our coach is he was definitely a little biased about the people he liked,
Oh,
but
for sure, bro.
if you were in
For
his
sure.
if you were in his scumbag group, like he liked you no matter what.
Bro,
He
did
would
he
he would
like me? I don't
Oh
know.
no, no, he definitely did, dude. He liked you a lot. He
Yeah,
liked you a lot. He you were just a scumbag, like the rest
yeah.
of us. Like he had a group of scumbags. It was Isaac, it was me, it was Dylan, and then it was our two other friends.
Bro, after we left, it was terrible. I went back and it was depressing. The practices look so easy.
Yeah, and the thing was
Oh
like
well.
with him, like it wasn't like for me. He was like a father figure. Like there was literally times like our whole team would we'd go on trips and like we'd all be like chilling with our team, and I would literally go sit in his room and talk and like chill with him while our whole team's like in their rooms like messing around talking, and I'm over here sitting with my coach, right? Like that's kind of how I saw things, and he would never say anything like that ever. Like
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah, he was so cool with us. Like,
like
he would be a dick, like, in practice to
yeah,
push us. But, like, he'd never get personal with us, ever. If a
yeah,
coach gets personal with you, then you definitely have to, like, call that shit out. Dude, that dude's a bitch. Fuck that dude.
and like even at my current level of my current level of my athletic
Athleticism.
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you know, I've had coaches that are incredibly personal. And the thing is, you know, it as a player and as a wrestler, it really does get you to a spot where like, you want to have some personal aspect, but you don't want personal criticism when it comes to wrestling or football or whatever it is, because that can literally tear you down as an athlete.
Yeah.
And the thing was, these
That can make you feel like
kids,
shit.
yeah. And the thing is, these kids that wrestled for this guy, these kids like they wanted to be part of the wrestling team. Like that was what that
Yeah,
school
because
was
they
known
had
for, and
yeah, because they had a good wrestling team.
yeah, and they wanted to be like really known for that. But the thing is, these kids probably dealt with such harassment every
Every
single
day.
day.
Every day just
Every
from this dude.
like
I
I
felt
can honestly
like
I can honestly say like among our wrestling team, there was never a moment where I was like, dude, I hate this coach, or like this is just so like even when we were like just like doing stuff that was so hard, like and we were
yeah.
like exhausted, it was like we just had such a good group of guys and coaching staff that like everything felt personal, and nobody the thing is like we don't want to lose for like I wouldn't say like it was like, oh, we don't want to lose for each other, but it was like we just wouldn't want to lose because that's like not our standard. Like
Yeah.
we never wanted to be like a losing team.
Yeah.
and
Ever.
and I feel like the biggest reason why we were so good is because we wore the scumbags that our coach like pushed us to be. Like
Yeah.
he would call us scumbags just because of the things we do, like
Yeah. I
away from
know.
football. Like if we did bad things away from football,
Or from
whether
wrestling.
yeah, from wrestling, yeah, whether it be like whether it be like going to a party or like anything or like
Oh my
talking to
god,
girls
bro!
or
I
anything,
remember,
he'd like, no,
bro,
go ahead.
bro. I remember one time. All right, this is a story about Uncle Isaac. All right, so I was probably like a junior, right? And it was like New Year's, and I get caught for smoking weed, right? And my parents call the
Jesus.
school, tell my coach that I can't wrestle at the next term, right? That's all I cared about was like wrestling. For the next like week, I had to hold like a
This
12
is
pound
awful.
medicine ball
This is
above
actually
my
funny,
head,
but it was pretty bad.
above my head for like all of practice, and everybody just watched me there. That was the most depressing thing ever, ever, bro.
There was literally times we would get breaks and Isaac would put it down. Our coach was like, "What are you doing?"
It's
And
like,
I'm just like,
oh,
just put it right back up.
nah, but bro,
Because like
would you let that shoulder?
he's, I didn't have to do that. I just got blessed with some shoulders. But Isaac has spent a lot of time holding these freaking
Medicine balls,
this.
bro,
It
and
wasn't
like
yeah,
no
it's
one
just
else
medicine.
did. It was always just me. Like I'm the only one that got punished like that, and actually took the punishment. Like anyone else would be like putting the ball down like halfway through and just be sitting, but like coach was bitching at me. Coach was on top of me the whole time.
Yeah, dude.
Oh well,
I the biggest thing that he like
you knew
how it
better.
was with Isaac is he didn't want Isaac to end up getting in trouble or doing bad things and messing up and stuff like that. Because like
I know, cause I just I was just really compulsive and made like really dumb decisions. Like when I was younger, we had to do this like Sunshine State writing course, and they would like have a disc, right? Like a teacher had a disc
mhm.
where like we would watch this video, and this lady would teach us because our teacher wasn't capable of doing it, obviously. And so she like put the disc in and started the video, and like walked out of the room, and I was like, "Fuck this!" And I took the disc out and I put it under the CD. I put it under
No,
the
you
CD
didn't.
player, bro. I swear on my life, I
No,
swear on my
you
life,
didn't.
bro. I took the disc out and I put it into the CD player, and she came back in, and she was like, she opened it, and she was like completely silent and just walking, walking around, like looking for it. And then like 2 minutes later, we had like this lady probably had more testosterone than I do now currently, and she was our principal. All right, and this lady was full blown lesbian in like 2011. Okay,
Not and you said this was in high school?
this is a middle school.
Oh, okay.
This is
Okay.
a middle
I was
school.
about, I was about to say,
She comes in, storms in. The door slams open, storms in, walks into the front. She's like, "All right, ooh, it's okay." No one says shit. No one says shit. All right, and then she's like, "All right, I'm handing out pieces of paper." Um, and then someone has to like, everyone has to write like who did it. All right, and like whoever has the most, then that's who did it. And I'm like, all right, this makes sense, whatever. And I wrote someone that wasn't in the class, but they wrote me, and I got ratted out, and I had to correct
they they ratted you out.
them. They ratted me out.
My the biggest moment I have I have two moments where like two moments when I was a young child. These were both in elementary school. When I really thought to myself, I was like, "Wow, motherfuckers are snakes." And you have to think, I'm
uh,
like the worst part is I'm like 8 years old, and I'm like, you motherfuckers are snakes. Like, I don't even know what this
You
means,
fucking
right?
stole from me.
So I think it was third grade. I had this one teacher. She was a beautiful lady, and I don't remember what happened. Like, I liked her so much, like she was so nice, but she just did something that was so annoying. Like, she just did something like, and you have to think as a child, like, obviously things annoy you, but like she did something that was just like so just like ridiculous. I was like, I was just so mad. So I remember me and my friend we had actually sat next to each other. We'll call him Ryan. Okay.
Okay.
So Ryan's sitting next to me, and I write on a piece of paper. I'm like, uh, and we'll call Miss M. We'll call her Miss M. I write on the piece of paper. I go, Miss M is being such a bitch right now. Right. Literally the only thing I write. Okay. That's all I write. And he like looks at it, he reads it, he goes, and he laughs. So I'm like, and then I was like, he hands it back to me, and he's like, yeah, she's being a bitch. And I was like, and obviously I'm like 8 years old, probably in the third grade, and I'm calling my teacher a bitch. Not good. And
Funniest shit ever. Funniest shit in the world.
hilarious. And there was another girl. There was a girl in there. We'll we'll call her Sarah. And Sarah saw it too, and she like read it, and she was like laughing. She thought it was funny. Well, my first course of action is get rid of the evidence.
Of
Get rid of the
course.
no.
Of
You
course.
know, so I get rid of it.
Destroy the no.
I get rid of it, and I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there, and the I don't know what happened. I think we go to lunch or recess or something, and before like before everyone like else gets back in, Miss M calls me over. She goes, Julian, can you do me a favor real quick? I was like, yeah, what's up? And she calls me over and she's like, so Ryan and Sarah told me that you wrote a really bad note about me. And I was like, I was, so my immediate reaction is, no. In my mind, in my 8 year old mind, I'm like, this son of a bitch ratted me out. And I was like, I remember I was like, this piece of shit. And I was like, I cannot believe this, right?
Yeah.
And so I write it out. I'm like, so everyone comes back into the class. At the end of the day, she won't. I'm a walker, so I'd always walk home by myself. And my sister,
I'm
my
fucked.
sister, my sister actually used to come pick me up sometimes. And this was one of the days that she came to pick me up. And I was sitting there and I was and everyone else left. The teacher would not let me leave. She was like, I think it literally just, I think it literally hurt her feelings so much that she just wanted me to like say like
I'm sorry.
if I did it, yeah. And not that I like said it. I think it just hurt her feelings that I would make her like it would make me say that about her, like a
Yeah.
child, right?
Yeah.
And she was sitting in there. I remember she was sitting on the right of me, and she keeps on like she's like Julian, like please, just like if you did do it, and I'm like I didn't do it though. I obviously did do it, 100%.
Obviously.
I'm like
Of
I
course,
didn't do
Julian's
it.
guilty as fuck.
And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't even know why I would say that. I was like, you don't even do anything bad. I was like, you're always nice to me. And I was just like, I was lying through my teeth. And I remember the intercom comes over and it's like, excuse me, Miss M, is Julian in there? Because we need him to the office. His sister's waiting for him. And she's like, yeah, he's coming right now. And she's like, okay, it's like fine, like you can go. And I remember I walked out of that classroom and I was like, that son of a bitch ratted me out. And I was so hurt and so like petrified. I was like, oh, I don't want to fight that kid. I remember the next day, I said to him, I go, Ryan, what the fuck are you telling the teacher what I did? And I'm like 8 years old, but I cursed like a sailor. I was like, don't fucking tell her what I'm doing, first of all, and stop ratting me out. And I was like, and Sarah, you're a bitch. And I was like, and the thing was, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get in trouble 2 days around. And the thing is, they didn't say anything, right? They're just like, oh, gee. Like they were literally because the thing is, they were expecting me to get in trouble, and I didn't get in trouble, so they were scared. They thought I was like immune. All right, that's one instance I get in trouble for cursing. Right, fifth grade. I didn't care. I like there was literally times like kids would say something, I'd be like, "Screw you, like you pussy," like, and I was just like a jerk. Like
in my entire life
Yeah.
ever.
Like,
Like I'm
like
telling you.
the thing was, I wasn't being. It wasn't that I was like I wasn't an asshole to anybody. I was like always really nice to everybody. Like, but the thing was like I didn't care about cursing. I'd be like that shit is so dumb. Like that shit's funny. Like just like and I was like a kid and I didn't really understand the whole relevance of cursing. And I remember so like I think it'd been like a while I had been cursing and we had another teacher, Miss M too. We'll call her Miss M too.
Miss MP2.
And she was this large black woman that actually could not like leave her chair. I don't think I never actually saw her leave her chair. And she was our writing professor, and she was always very well teacher. Oh my gosh, she was always very like critical and like very like serious about things.
Yeah.
And but she like also like really hit home sometimes too. And there was a time uh we'll call this kid God we'll call this kid Tyler. Okay. So Tyler was one of my best friends, right? And I remember this is the worst part. It had been after lunch again. We go into the class and Miss M2 says to me, she goes, Julian, while the whole class is in there, right? And she goes, Julian, people have been telling me that you've been cursing or something like that. And I'm like, no, I haven't. Like, she's like, Julian, if you have, just like say it, like,
Just plays an innocent
like
card.
nobody, like nobody's gonna get mad at you or anything. Like, just say like, uh, and I was like, no, like I would say if I was or whatever. And
If I was, I would have told you by now.
yeah, so I'm like, and I'm saying this. I'm like, no, I was like, Miss M, like Miss M2, like, no, I'm not saying this. And then Tyler just goes, Tyler's sitting on the left of me. He goes, come on, Julian, tell the truth. And
Bro.
I remember, I was literally like, and I looked at him. I was like, and I was like, this motherfucker. I was like, he goes, Julian, just tell the truth already. And I was like, oh, you piece of shit. I was like, and I was like, if I get my fucking hands on you. And she's like, Julian, do you have anything to say? I was like, fine. I was like, yes, I've been
Time
cursed.
to
And
time
he's like,
out.
and then he goes, Julian, that was the right thing. And I remember literally like as soon as we left that classroom, it was like,
Going nowhere in life.
and we had like 5 periods or 4 periods in elementary school. I literally went over to that kid. I said, hey, I fucking hate you. And I was literally like in the fifth grade. And he was like, Julian, like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, don't ever fucking talk to me again. And I never talked to that kid again. I never talked.
Like, here, this is a
And then like, but like years later, like he like messaged me like, what's up, Julian? And I still like thought about it. I was like, you fucking snake. I was like, you fucking rat.
stupid.
Like, dude, can you
But
just
like,
imagine? Can you imagine that?
in my 20 years of living, I have never told on anyone ever, ever.
But
Like,
like that of all time, like, dude, it was like I was literally, it was
can
like
you
a court
trick me
case.
into saying that I
It was
don't
like,
curse?
I was at a court case, right? And my, the judge is my freaking teacher, and the jury is all the students in my class. And I have like I literally committed a crime with this other person. This other person's like there, and they like saw me commit the crime, and they're like, nope, nope, Julian wouldn't do that. And then when I'm actually pleading and testifying, they go, Julian, tell the truth. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm going to freaking jail for life because of you, you piece of shit. Like I was literally so upset, so upset,
Nah, I remember we used to have like a complaint box that we could like put complaints in about other kids. We would have to,
dude. Oh my god.
bro, we'd have to settle it like at the end of the day in a circle, like on Friday or something.
Mhm.
And one like me and my friend were getting like fed up. We were like, bro, this teacher is like totally picking on us because we both have like super long hair.
Mhm.
She's totally being such a cunt to us for no reason.
Oh
For
my
no
god.
reason. Like, I'm telling you, this was the first time I ever got a C, and it like just lingered. Like I just kept on thinking
Ah,
about it.
yeah.
Like, bro. And like I would do all my work. I would do everything. You know how you get a
Oh,
Y'all,
dude,
y'all,
I failed first grade, so I don't even know how that's possible. They thought I couldn't read.
oh my gosh.
I actually remember first grade they thought I couldn't read, but the thing is I just didn't. Dude.
I
So
couldn't
this is the thing. We had stations that we would always switch from. It was like the reading station, the like computer station, and something like that. And if you know me, I love computers. So I was like, why the hell am I gonna sit at the reading station when I can go on a computer and play some games? So
Yeah.
I'd literally go there and I'd play video games instead. And I remember they just like I think they put me in a program and they're like, can you like read this? And I was like, I don't want to. And they're like, if you can't read it, it's fine. I was like, I can read it, I just don't want to. And they literally held me back because of it. They literally held me
That's so
back.
annoying.
It's all right.
You know,
I probably did need to be held back. I don't think I knew how to read. I don't actually think I knew how to read.
yeah, you're in
Continue.
first grade.
Continue. See, you're
We were,
serious.
hey, wait, what was it talking about?
You're talking about the first time you ever going to see the complaint box.
Oh, the complaint box. All right, bro. So we were like, fuck this bitch. She's totally picking on us. I'm turning my homework in, getting zeros. Mom's bitching at me. All real accounts, okay? And she, like, me and my friend put in a joint complaint. Me and Isaac's friend to formally complain about the teacher. We complained about the teacher and we wrote down like everything she was doing. And she was like, she sat down all serious. I have no clue how this lady took us seriously, bro. We were like some of those shithead kids. Because like, bro, if you know me, I was a nut when I was a little kid. A
Uh-huh.
fucking nut. I was crazy as fuck. So of course you can be like I don't know. I don't know if that should reflect in my grades, but I feel like it was probably justified whatever she did.
Hmm.
And we complained about her, and we had a full like 20-minute long jury case about how we should always question authority, but she's actually right.
No way. Dude, the the most humiliating moment of the complaint box, right? We had the same thing. I feel like everyone had that, like at least one point in their elementary school life, because that was like back when bullying was like just kind of picking up. That was like when everyone was like in their emo like scene stage. People were like starting to cut themselves and everything. So it was like kind of like people's way of making sure that they like avoided this situation early. Yeah. Oh my God. Your MySpace profile and your top 10 best friends depended on your social status, you
Yeah,
know.
and what songs you had on your
And
playlist?
what song? Yeah, what song you had in your playlist? I remember. I remember there was this one girl. I can't even remember her name. We'll say she's Victoria or something. And she was. And in the area I was, it was a pretty like Spanish area. There was a lot of Spanish people. There was a lot of Puerto Ricans and like Latin people. And so Victoria was in our class, and she was like a very like white Latin person, and she had like beauty marks, like not like giant moles, but like little like freckles, like here and there, like a little like like baby moles, if anything. Not like you wouldn't be like, damn, that's a mole. You'd be like, oh, that's like a little birthmark or something, right?
Yeah.
And so 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 everybody has the complaint box and everything. And it's one of the most depressing moments of like third and fourth grade. And so we're like, okay, our teacher's ripping out all these notes, like reading them, blah blah. Oh, okay, blah blah, pulling them out, reading them, and it gets to this girl's note, right? And these are anonymous, right? And I don't know why this girl made it so specific. And she goes, it was like Tyler and Caesar make fun of me for birthmarks because they keep on thinking they're moles, but they're not. And literally everybody in our class just goes and looks at the girl, and she just starts crying. And I literally was like, I was like sitting there, and of course, like I'm not in the middle of this. So if you're not in the middle of the problem, you're just like you just see it going on. I remember she's crying so much, and I was like, and I didn't know what to do. I literally just didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave this there. And I sat there, and the girl cried so much that she had to leave the class. And our professor, yeah, dude, our professor literally
literally was like she's not going to be coming to our class anymore. She's in a different teacher now, and we're like, because like some kid said she had moles on her face. Wait,
That's
what is the most trouble you got in when you're in elementary school?
in elementary school.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I pants this kid.
No.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I got. All right, so the year is 2008.
Oh,
This is to paint a picture for everyone.
lay the setting down.
2008, the Jimmy Tap was first introduced to me.
Oh,
Okay,
that's right around the gleek.
the Gleek. Oh my God, that was so nasty, bro.
And if you, all right, if you don't know what gleeking is, it's pretty much when you hold your tongue at like the hole in your like mouth, and then you like, I don't know, you like raise your tongue to the top of your mouth and spit at people. But
Yeah, and
but people would do it like a lot. They'd be like when you weren't looking, and like also they'd be like just spitting on
and
you
they just do it on you, and you can
for
do
no
it really
reason.
far.
Yeah, for no reason.
Super nasty, super nasty. All right, but so the year's 2008. Song Boom Boom Pow is soaring through my veins. All right. And like we're running around the half mile in the back of my elementary school.
Gosh, did everybody have that? It was awful.
And bro, worst time of my life. I don't know why the parents do that. And like me and my friend were just like walking and talking. And like he's like, "Oh, bro, look at the." He like distracts me. He's like, "Oh, over there." And then I'm like, "Huh?" And then boom, straight in the nuts. First time the Jimmy Tap was ever introduced. Okay, you have to know this to like understand the story. Okay, so from that point forward,
Look over there.
so from that point forward, every open chance we would get, we would hit each other in the nuts. But like, I don't
Okay.
know why, I would get hit in the nuts more than anyone else. Remember, I had long hair. I was like a weird kid. I was just like an easy target. All right. So one day, it's before class, and we're all waiting in like the area in front, like in front of the like your one classroom,
Mhm.
because I'm in fifth grade, and we're sitting there, and this kid, you'll probably know him. His name rhymes with um
Is it?
pink eye,
Huh?
Shmeli,
Shmeli.
Squid.
Uh.
You know what I'm
Okay.
talking about?
No, I don't. But keep on going.
Here, I'll text it to you.
I'll probably be able to figure it out.
All right, well, he cocks up a fat one and hits me square in the nutsack. I drop to my knees and
I
cry.
know who it is. I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about. I know who you're talking about now. Did you even type it? Did you even type it?
I'm about to.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. I know who it is.
Okay.
I know who Squid is. I remember
Okay.
him.
All right. So.
He said me lie. Me lie. Okay.
Okay. So I'm on the ground and I'm crying. And teacher walks in and she's like, "Get up! You might hurt someone. You might make someone trip." I'm like, "All right." And then we had this kid who was like you could tell, not like looking back, his parents were like from actually like a more urban area, so he had a little bit more street smarts than I did, right? And he was picking on me. He was like straight picking on me, right? And
Okay.
he was picking on me, and then like, all right, so it was table of four, right? So
Yeah.
it's me and the swimmer kid, and then the kid that's picking on me, and then um this other kid who's the nephew to the principal,
Okay.
right? So the kid across from me is picking on me, and the kid diagonal to me is getting picked on by the kid next to me, right?
Okay. It's like
So
a chain. It's like a
we're both
chain.
getting made fun of. We're both getting made fun of all practice, like all class.
Okay.
So like it comes lunchtime, and me and this kid are talking, and we're like, hey, we just devise a plan. We're like, hey, we're gonna pants them, like we're gonna pull their pants down when no one's looking. All right, devise the perfect plan. We're like, all right,
And dude, when you're a kid, that is like the most like your heart beats so fast, like you're like you literally feel like it's Mission Impossible. You're like ready to like do this.
You're
Yeah.
like, all right, we gotta embarrass the shit out of these kids.
Yeah.
All right, so bro, literally we go in, and like he walks up to the kid that was sitting next to me,
Hmm.
dances him. Everything goes accordingly. Teacher completely unaware. I go up to my kid, hands. His boxes go down.
No.
Yes, bro.
No. No.
Yes,
No.
yes, bro. Literally, like,
Wow.
I know. Hang
Wow.
on, wait, hang on, wait. Let me tell you who it was.
The person that you pantsed.
Yeah, the person I pants. All right, just read that. And
Oh my gosh.
and like,
Like,
so this kid was cool, right? This kid was cool because he was just cool.
he was an urban kid.
Yeah, he was an urban kid, so like, I didn't think they were gonna get me in trouble, but I mean, they didn't get me in trouble. But like, we went to the principal's office, and I was sitting there waiting, and I went in. I went
What,
in
wait,
with
who sent you in? Why do you did the teacher see?
yeah. Everyone saw his thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, makes
Everyone
sense.
saw his thing, and then like after that happened, and then the other kid who got pants told on the kid who was sitting diagonal from me.
Okay.
So we're both in the clink, all right? We both go into the go into the principal's office, and we're sitting there, and we're just like sitting there so sad, just like, oh my god, I cannot believe that we just got in trouble for this. Like, I cannot believe this turn of events. This is nothing has gone according to plan.
Yeah.
I got hit in the nuts in class, and there's been no real justice.
This has been no real justice.
So we get pulled into this, like we both get pulled into this lady's office, and she's like, who pulled their underwear down? Was it you? And she points at me, and I'm like, and she's like, she, she told me like, I forgot exactly what she said, but she was like, it boiled down to like I could be labeled as a sex offender, and that I wouldn't be able to go to school with, like, I go volunteer at any schools with my kids or anything. And when I went
You're in
home,
elementary school?
bro, in elementary school, bro. Literally, bro. This lady was like threatening me. Like,
Oh my god.
and
That's terrifying.
I know, bro. And when I went on the bus, I was crying like to everyone. And I was like, they said when I have kids, I won't be able to volunteer.
Oh my
I
god.
was so sad because, like, bro, I was the most naive kid ever,
Of
ever.
course. Of
And
course.
like, cause like I was
Dude, that would scare me. That would be crying too.
I was like, bro, I was so scared. And like her nephew got scot free, completely scot free. Fucking dickhead.
Dude, that's so funny. All
Why do
right,
you think my parents got me in trouble for that?
dude, my the biggest moment when I like ever for me, I never got in trouble. The thing was my mom worked as a nurse and my mother was never home. And her rule was don't get in trouble where I have to leave work. Right. If my mother ever had to leave work, death was coming. Right.
For sure. Like,
So
think about that. You're
so
driving, trying
and
to
the
pay bills, and
and
your
he
fucking your
and the
kid.
thing was like we weren't very well off when I was a young kid. And the thing was my mom for her was work was everything. My mom was working like 16-hour shifts, right? And she did not have time to be yeah, she did not have time to be leaving work on some me acting like an idiot, right?
Yeah, on some dumb shit.
So, my fifth grade year, they were big on really trying to get you into like the elementary school, not elementary, middle school field, like periods and everything. So, we'd stay in a class for like an hour and a half or something like that, and then we'd go to a class. Imagine four classrooms. Like here, like it's like math, reading, Miss M2, in here,
Yeah.
and then like science or social studies in here, right? And we had science here. Let me just say this: this is not relevant. The science teacher is one of the most beautiful women I've ever met. And till this day, like when I was a kid, I was like, dude, she's so hot. Like even now, I'd still probably be like, dude, she's so hot. So
Yeah. He's probably
uh,
hot.
we're sitting outside of hot teacher's class, and I'm sitting there, and we had this there's this one kid. So like the best way to put it is we're all broke. We're all broke kids. We all live close to the
Yeah.
school.
It was when you lived in Orlando.
Yeah, and I I was a broke kid, but I didn't get in trouble. This kid, broke kid, but he didn't give a fuck. Okay, that was the biggest difference between us. And
Yeah.
there was like one time we were sitting outside this classroom or whatever, and we're waiting for our professor to like open the door. Like she was like acting like she like couldn't like let us. She couldn't let us in yet. We had to like wait 7 minutes. Like we had like a pastime, right? In between
That's so
periods.
annoying.
It was like supposed to be like a real like middle school. So we're
Yeah.
chilling. We're chilling outside the classroom, and I don't know what this kid said to me. Let's just call him. Let's call him Keese. Okay.
Keys.
All right. So Keese is Keese and I were like friends. We were pretty good friends, and I don't remember what happened, but Keese said something, and I think I said something back to him, and he was like, I don't know what it was, but he knocked my books out of my hands, or like something I had in my hands, and I was like,
Fucking bitch.
so my reaction was to smack him as hard as I could. So I went and I literally just wound up my hand. And the thing was, I was in the fifth grade. I was 5'6", 160 pounds. I was a giant.
No way.
Swear to God. And Keese was not a very big kid. And I went boom, and I smacked him. I literally think the kid like it was like he went boom, and he like literally like landed and hit the ground and like sat there for a second, and then like he was like this. He goes, look like a demon. He gets up. He goes, I ain't playing with you, bruh. He goes, I'ma get you like you got me. And I was like, and I like didn't know. Like, I was like, I'd never been in a fight before. I'd been in like maybe two fights, and I was like I was in the fifth grade. I was like, oh god. I was like, here we go, right?
Oh no.
And he got up and he started crying. I remember he had tears of anger, and I was like, what the hell? And I remember they sent me to the principal, right? And the principal asked me, I don't remember, it was like the weirdest thing. Like I'd never been in trouble. I had no like record. So like for me to
Here's my permanent record.
so for me to like have done that was like obviously a big deal. And I remember the principal, he was this one guy and he was like talking to me. He's like, so what happened? I go, I don't really know. He said something to me and I was like, I think I told him to leave me alone or something like that. And he knocked my books out of my hand. So I smacked him. And the principal literally starts cracking up. Right? This other kid, Keese, got like in so much trouble.
Really?
So much trouble.
Dude,
So freaking much trouble. Dude, I remember I
I
sat
can't
all
stand to see this black on black crime. Julian. I can't stand to see it.
all I all I had to do was sit in the principal's office and get to chill with him for a day. And I like had lunch and he brought me like a happy meal from McDonald's and everything. And I was like, oh
That's the
hell
best.
yeah. I was like, yeah, I need it. I remember I went home. Of course, I'm like terrified. The thing was, my mom probably got in at 8 a.m. I started school at like 9 a.m. So like as soon as she got home from work, she'd go straight to sleep. And then when I'd get home, she'd be getting ready for work again.
Yeah.
So I remember I get home and I'm like, oh God. And I'm like trying to be quiet and I get into my room. And the thing is, my mom wouldn't let me close the door. So I'm like in my room and I'm sitting there. She opens her door and she walks right past me. Like, and I'm like, I was like in the corner. I was like, she walks past me, walks back to my room.
5'6", 160 pound Julian. Not being slick at all.
So I was like in the corner, like, and I remember she walks past me, and she like she I hear her stop. She walks back into her room, goes back to goes back to the porch, and she's smoking a cigarette. And I think she was trying to see if I was like in the house or something. And she goes, Julian. And I was like, yes. And she goes, come out here. And I go out there. And she goes, so I got a call today. And I was like, I thought I was done. I go, well, what? She goes, don't act stupid. What happened? I was like, and I told her about what happened. And I remember my mom's like a pacifist. I don't remember what she said, but she said something that was so terrifying. I was afraid to put my hands on another human being ever again. And I was like, I remember she's like, now get in the house. And I was like, okay. And I ran in the house and I remember I sat. The thing is, whenever I would get really upset or anything, I would go straight to my closet and cry. Cause like that was the only place I could close the door. Cause my mother wouldn't let me close my room door. Or the bathroom, or the bathroom. So I sat, yeah, I'd cry in the bathroom or in,
You can close the bathroom door.
yeah, no. So I go in the closet and I was like, and I was like sitting on all my dirty clothes, and everything, and I was like, like punching clothes and everything. And I remember it was like so heartbreaking for me. Oh, funny story about hiding because just so you guys like have an understanding. So I've obviously always been large, but my fifth grade going into my sixth grade year, I hit a mean growth spurt. I went from 5'6" to 6'1", right? And I was 150 pounds to 280 in like
Holy
a span of like four months, 3 months, right?
yeah.
So um, I remember there was one time, I think it was around Christmas time because we had a Christmas tree up, and my mom's boyfriend was at the house, and I don't remember why, but I wasn't supposed to be up. And like when I was like younger, if you like weren't supposed to be up, like you weren't supposed to be like eating or anything. You were supposed to just like not be grabbing water. Like you were supposed to be like in bed, like sleeping.
Yeah.
Right? And there was one time I was in the kitchen and I was doing. I think I was like trying to get some water or something. And like I remember I heard him like open the door and he was like he like coughed. He was like grabbing something in his room. And I remember I was like, and I couldn't make it to my room, so I ran. I ran and I didn't know where to hide, so I went behind the tree, right? Yeah. I hid behind, yeah, the Christmas tree, right? I went and I hid behind the Christmas tree, and he turned on the light in the hallway and like went into my room and like looked around for me. Like I'm nowhere to be found, right? Nowhere to be found. Okay. Oh, checked in the bathroom, checked everywhere, could not find me. Goes outside, smokes a cigarette. As soon as he went outside, I ran back into my room and laid in my bed like I was sleeping. And he turned back on the light, didn't wake me up, didn't anything. And I think that might have been the most scarring moment for his life. I never told him about it. I never told him about it. And I'm almost certain he probably thinks that he like was hallucinating.
Yeah, he probably thinks he's
Because my mom was at work and it was just him at the house, and he was like, he's probably like,
bro, that's scary shit.
he's probably like, oh shit. And then like, so I was gone. Think about it, like your
Yeah,
girlfriend's
Julian's
your girlfriend's
Julian's
kid is missing, and when you come back inside, they're laying in bed just.
he didn't call anyone. He didn't. He just went outside, smoked a cigarette, came back inside.
Yeah, dude. Isn't that freaking great?
That's so funny, bro.
Oh god, it was, and I still think about that to that day. I'm like, dude, I really wonder what he thought when that happened because he never said anything to me about it.
I feel you. Alright, Julian, we've been recording for like an hour and 10 minutes.
Think we're good.
Yeah, we're good for stream. Alright, you guys. If you like my content, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Julian, I got your Instagram. Do you have anything else you want to plug?
I got you.
Okay.
All right, guys. See ya.